Hi, hope everyone's doing well and staying safe. Like many of you, I oftentimes sit around and wish there was something more I could do to help the situation we're in, to help provide assistance. And that's tough when you're stuck at home. But what I've decided to do is I'm going to put together a short series of videos where I talk to you guys about your personal finances, about how to manage money and create a good financial plan. So I've been in banking and wealth management for 15 years and worked with a lot of people. And I want to just share a lot of the knowledge and insight that I've gained over the years. What I like about a lot of these things that I'm going to talk to you about is some of these principles are very easy, very straightforward. There's nothing real complex about them. I do want to get into things like retirement planning and investing, how to invest, why to invest, all those sorts of things. But for today, I want to start with what I believe is very foundational to any good financial plan. Okay, it's a principle that I think everyone needs to work on and everyone needs to try to establish before doing anything else. I think this is crucial. And especially at this time, going through this pandemic with the coronavirus, I hope it's been a wake up call for a lot of people. There's upwards 10 million plus new unemployment claims. People are losing their jobs every day. So I'm going to talk to you about how to build up an emergency savings account, how to make sure that you have funds set aside and you've prepared for disaster or emergency so that when it happens, you're able to make sure and get your bills paid and put food on your table and support your family. So jumping right into that, I want to talk to you about some little tips on how to make saving easier, how to be consistent with it, uh, how much should you save, what's a good amount for an emergency bucket in your savings account. So let's jump into that question first. How much should you have set aside in an emergency savings? So I like to follow a basic kind of pyramid structure when we look at your accounts. So at the very top of the pyramid, first, let's look at your checking account. So everyone should have one. This is your fluid account, obviously. Your income goes into your checking account. You pay your bills out of it. Money's coming in, money's going out constantly. So a good rule of thumb, how much should you keep in your checking? First thing you need to do is you need to sit down and add up all your monthly bills and necessary expenses. So you're going to sit down and add up everything that you have to pay per month, your mortgage payment, your car payments, your credit card payments, groceries, everything that's important that way. And you're going to find that number per month of what it takes to maintain your lifestyle. So in your checking account, a good rule of thumb is to keep 3 months worth of your monthly bills in there. So let's say your number is $3,000 to cover all your monthly obligations. Ideally, you keep about $9,000 in your checking account. That gives you plenty of room. That's a good buffer. So the next thing is everyone should have a savings account that just goes right there at the same bank in partnership with your checking account. Now, in your savings account, and if you don't have one, if you just have a checking, go to your bank or credit union and get a savings account opened up right away. And I'm going to tell you and teach you little tricks on how to start beefing that savings account up. So how much should you keep in your savings account? What's a good amount in there that's fully liquid and safe? And we know that we can get to that at any moment. The rule of thumb with that is you want to keep between 6 and 12 months of your monthly bills and expenses. So under that same example, if $3,000 a month is your number, then in your savings account you want to try to keep about $18,000 to $36,000. you think about a situation where you might lose a job, okay, and you're out of work and the income stops coming in. It'd be pretty hard to imagine a scenario where it would take longer than 6 months to find a new job. Now, I know these times are crazy right now, and maybe that's a little bit different at the moment. But 6 to 12 months, if you're more conservative, you want to play it really safe, then work for that 12 months. Now, some of you hear those numbers and may think, well, that's impossible. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I can't keep 3 months in my checking account, let alone try to beef up a savings. So let me tell you what's nice about this concept or this principle is you've got to start somewhere. And if you can develop this habit and get into these good habits and have discipline, you can get there. You can build that up. And I don't care if you make $30,000 a year or you make $200,000 a year. You've got to start saving and you've got to start putting money aside, and you will get there. So look at your budget. If you're wondering how you're going to do this, take a close look at all your expenses, pull your bank statements up and go through every single transaction and ask yourself where you can sacrifice, where you can find money that you can save, and make sure you're putting that money in the savings. And come up with a number per month that you can try to save. Okay, for some of you that might be $10 a month, and that's all you can start with, and that's great. Others, maybe it's $100 a month, $200 a month. Find the number that you can fit into your budget, and the key, here's what I wanted to focus on most importantly, is in order to develop good habits of building these accounts up to getting to our ideal place, is you have to make savings automatic. Okay, so what I mean by that is it needs to be something that's just happening automatically, not something that you have to go in and do yourself every paycheck or every month. So here's what I mean by that. Let's say you have direct deposit with your company and you have it set up where 100% of your paycheck goes right into your checking account, and that's all you have. And you just operate out of that. And maybe you try to go in once in a while if you've got extra and try to move that over to a savings. That's not what I'm talking about. So an example of how to set this up is most companies that process your payroll are going to allow you to split your payroll into two or sometimes even more than two different accounts. So instead of sending 100% of your paycheck to the checking account, put 90% in your checking account and put 10% in the savings. So every time you get a paycheck, that's just done for you automatically. That's getting split up. 10% of your paycheck's going right into savings. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to remember to do it. It's done for you. That's what I mean by setting this up so it's automatic. Okay, another example, if you don't have direct deposit or you're unable to split your direct deposit, is most banks and credit unions, you'll be able to set up automatic transfers. So from your checking account, set up automatic transfers to simply go over to your savings account. So if you've looked at it and said, okay, I think I can save $100 a month, and that's the number you're comfortable with, set that up so that every month, on say the first of each month, $100 simply slides over automatically from your checking to your savings. You could do it bi-weekly. Maybe you do $50 every other week. But I'm telling you, there's just a lot of psychology there where they've looked at that, and when it's automatic, again, the key there is that it's not something you have to worry about and remember to do. And you've committed to the habit by setting it up to be automatic. You have that routine, that schedule in place where it's going to do that for you. And that's huge. So, go get that set up. Again, what I tell you is building and maintaining wealth is more about sacrifice and good behavior and good habits than it is about how much you make, than it is about any number, any equation. So work to develop these habits and start with this one. Okay, if you're not saving and you're not saving automatically right now, go set that up. Find a way to get that done, and you'll be amazed how fast that will build up your savings account. And, again, you want to get that to a good 6 to 12 months of your monthly living expenses. And then if disaster strikes, you lose your job, something comes up, you're okay. You don't have that stress. You're going to be okay because you've got that pot of money that you can live off of. Now, once you have 6 to 12 months built up, the next step in the pyramid, right under that, that's when we want to take your money and we start doing other things with it. We make sure we're funding our retirement accounts. We start investing, saving up for our kids' college, things like that. And those are things that I'm going to talk to you more about in detail as well. So I hope this video helps. Let me know if you guys have any questions, any comments, concerns, or if you just want to let me know how beautiful my stash is. That's great too right now, my quarantine stash. So again, hope you guys are doing well and look forward to talking with you next time. Take care.